Hello everyone, I'm Ramya. In this video, I'm going to explain some of the fundamental concepts of JavaScript. We will cover 5 main topics: variables, arrays, functions, objects, and loops. I will also show you sample code for each of these concepts and explain how they work. So let's get started. First, let's talk about variables. Variables are used to store data in JavaScript. There are 3 ways to declare variables: using var, let, and const. Var is the older way of declaring variables and has function level scope. Let is the modern way and it has block scope. Const is used for constants, meaning values that should not be changed. Here in the code, I have declared a variable named name using var and assigned it to the value Sita. Then I declared another variable age using let and set it to 19. Finally, I used const to declare country with the value India. I am printing these values using console.log statements so we can see them in the output. Next, let's move on to arrays. An array is a special type of object used to store multiple values in a single variable. For example, if we have a list of fruits, we can store them in an array instead of creating multiple variables. Here, I created an array called fruits with 4 elements: apple, banana, mango, and orange. We can access the first element using the index 0, which is fruits of 0, and the second element with fruits of 1, and so on. I also used the push method to add a new element called Goa to the array. Finally, I printed the array before and after adding Goa so that we can see the difference between these two. Now, let's talk about functions. Functions are blocks of code that we reuse whenever we want. They make our code organized and avoid repetition. Here, I created a simple function called greet that takes a parameter called username and returns a greeting message like hello Alice. I called this function with the value Alice and displayed the result in the console. I also created another function called add, which takes two numbers and returns their sum. For example, when I pass 6 and 10, it returns 16. Next, let us understand about objects. Objects in JavaScript are collections of key value pairs. They are used to store related data and functions together. Here, I created an object called person, which has properties like name, age, country. It also has a method called greet that returns a string introducing the person. When I call person.greet in the console, it prints, "Hi, I'm Ramya from India." This shows how objects can store both data and functions. Finally, let's learn about loops. Loops are used to execute a block of code multiple times. Here, I used a for loop to go through each element of the fruits array and print them one by one. The loop starts from 0 and runs until the last element of the array. I also used a while loop, which runs as long as a condition is true. In this case, it starts with the count equal to 1 and keeps printing the value of count until it reaches 3. So in this video, we learned about 5 important concepts in JavaScript. Thank you.